Hey everyone, it's Augustus. There's about three things I want to talk about today. First thing I wanted to discuss is I've started a new project called Second Life Adventures. It's based around Second Life, as some of you may or may not know, which is a online social network. It's actually one of the oldest social networks around, probably even before MySpace even, or Friendster. And I I would say it started in back in 1996, 97. Well, anyway, it's been around a while, and so I hadn't really planned on doing this as a project, but basically what I'm doing is I'm recording random events that I attend, and with some explanation of how Second Life works and its features. And as I said, somewhere throughout this video, you'll be able to check out uh, the playlist. I'll share I'll also share the link in the description. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. The second thing I wanted to discuss is there are some days where I just, and this has to do with mainly how I feel health wise. Some days I wake up and I feel like I just don't have enough energy, and whether or not I exercise, and it's not really like I imagined, as far as, well, to put it bluntly, I'm out of shape, and I realize that, and I know I should exercise more, but I have so many problems as it is, and not enough time within the days of the weeks of the years or whatever to really be exercising. And it seems like every time I do, people either expect too much of me and they try to pull me away from it, or they try to get me to do something else, or they detour me, or it just, I don't feel that I should have to pay to go to a gym to have to exercise just to be dragged away because my boss calls, or because I have to go to class, or because my parents call and nag me, or whatever. And it's like, granted, right now I'm not really doing any of that, but when I was, as far as working, and even if I was working, going to college, and it just stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks. It's like, I am not that diverse. I'm not that multi. It's incredibly difficult to not rant because it's the type of thing that I have to deal with on a daily basis. People wonder why I'm out of shape, why I don't exercise, because I'm constantly bothered. And when I say bothered, I don't mean like, oh, oh. No, I don't mean like that kind of bothered. I mean just like someone sitting there poking you. Hey, 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 hey. It's really annoying, you know? Oh, I need to do this. I need you to do that. I need you. It's like, you know what? Just stay on my way and let me do what I need to do. If people want me to take care of myself, they need to stay out of my way. And that's what it boils down to. But I can't get them to understand that, so that'll never happen, ever. So, for the most part, I realize that, I've ranted a little bit, just a little bit, about my health and how I realize that, I'm out of health because of what other people do to me. And that is a form of manipulation. I don't like that. And I tell people that, and they just seem to shrug it off like they don't care or whatever. And I mean, that's fine if they don't care. But then at the same time, they shouldn't expect anything out of me because of the fact that they don't care. And I'm to the point in my life where people do that, and it's like, you know what? I'm not gonna do what they ask, because if they're gonna expect so much out of me, but yet they're not gonna respect the fact that I want to take care of myself, then I'm not gonna do what they say. Because they're not letting me better myself, so I'm not gonna do what they say, because I'm not learning anything from it. I'm not gaining anything. So the point is if you want me to better myself, don't get in my way. I don't mind help, but don't prevent me from bettering myself if you're going to help me. So that's what I wanted to cover as far as the second topic. And the third thing I wanted to cover is I wanted to explain a little bit why I act the way I do, and why I have the type of attitude I do. Because growing up, I've always been picked on, I've always been beaten up, I've always been pushed around, and over the years, it's just built up, built up, built up, built up, built up, built up, layer upon layer, and I've never really gotten rid of any of that, because it's all stored up here. I remember every bit of it, but yet it's like, for example, let's see, I was in third grade, and I remember literally slugging this kid in his face. In fact, I remember his name. His name was Billy Love, and I remember very distinctly that I gave him a busted lip. I might have been this side, I might have been this side. Can't remember distinctly where it was, but I just remember that I had punched him so hard that I ended up getting in trouble. And I'm pretty sure he ended up getting in trouble. And I remember what caused it. I had $5 that my mom had given me for lunch. Real trivial, you know. You know how parents give their kids money for lunch, when they can afford it, take care of them or whatever. Well, I remember that I had pulled it out, and I was getting ready to get in line, and he started to pretty much bully me out of my lunch money. And I told him no, and then he pretty much threatened to beat me up if I didn't. And so I said, I pretty much told him, well, okay, fine, sure, I'll give it to you. And as he started, and you know, he thought he was real smart, real cool. There was a coffee, oh, not really a coffee table, a cafeteria table. We were in a cafeteria lunchroom. I don't remember what grade he was in. And there are some details I don't remember, but what I do remember is there was a cafeteria table, and he was on the other side of the cafeteria table. And what I remember is that he was actually thinking that he was smart enough that he'd reach for the money. Well, sure, as I leaned in to act like I was going to give him the money, I slugged him right in the face. I hauled off with this fist, and I punched him. I punched him as hard as I could in the face, and at a point where he landed on his, well, he landed on his ass. And I'm sure the more I think about it now, if I was to go and walk up to him now, I really, if it wasn't for the fact that I brought it up, I don't really think that he would remember that. I really don't, because I'm finding that over the years that it's just little incidences like what I described there. And I'm sorry, Billy, if you're watching this, I am sorry I punched you. You know, it, we were young and it was stupid. Probably, well, it was stupid on my part, but we've all got our problems, and you know, I'm sure you know you had your reasons. So regardless, you know, it's just little things like that you know I might have remembered, you know, all the way from back then up until now, but if I was to ask those other people, they would say, "Oh, I don't remember that. Oh, that happened?" It's like, you know, if you can't remember your past childhood, or you can't remember what happened to you, or what you did to someone else, what kind of person does that make you? You know, because you could walk up to someone and say, stab him in the leg with a pencil in the fourth grade, and 23 years later, meet that same person. You don't think that person's going to remember that you stabbed him in the fourth grade with a pencil in the leg? Something's kind of wrong there, you know? It's like, you know, you meet this person and you go, hey, didn't you stab me in the leg in the fourth grade with a pencil? You know, anyone with a long-term memory that wasn't really damaged or whatever would remember something like that. And that's what bothers me is, you know, people don't think that I remember half the shit that's happened to me. And I might remember the important pieces that are important to me because, yeah, it affected me all right. It affected me to the point where I don't like people now. And you know what? If that's the kind of person they wanted to turn me into, that's their fault. That's not my fault. That's their fault because they turned me into that type of person. I'm not to blame. They are. And if they don't want to take the responsibility for that, well, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. They don't have to, because you know what? They'll get what's coming to them. I won't even have to lay a finger on them anymore, or at all. So I mean, you know, I just I just really think that, you know, people need to keep in mind that when you have kids and they say they're getting bullied at school, your kids are going to grow up and they're going to remember some of those things. And, you know, you might teach them not to grow up to be like me, but regardless, deep down inside, they're going to still remember it. And they're still going to harbor some kind of I don't want to say hatred, but bitterness. And that's what people need to keep in mind is, people are just, they're animals. And when you abuse an animal enough times, it's going to remember it. And you just want to be careful about that because one of these days it's going to end up biting you in the ass. I mean, it's like a picture I saw the other day of two German Shepherds, and one of the German Shepherds in this picture had a sign that said, "One day karma's gonna bite you in the ass." And then the German Shepherd next to it had a sign on it too, as well, saying, "Hi, I'm Karma." So, I mean, I think you can really put the picture together and figure out, if you don't want certain things to come around and bite you in the ass, don't treat people so badly growing up or when you're young or even now. I mean, you just don't gain anything out of it. You really don't. Other than what? You think you're better than everyone? You're not, because you're just in the same position as everyone else. So, for you to think that I wouldn't remember something like that, well, I would, because, well, it's like the saying goes, an elephant never forgets. And unfortunately, I'm not comparing myself to an elephant, but then again, the way my life keeps going, I probably will end up being an elephant. So, I just wanted to cover that and say thank you for watching my videos. And again, Billy, if you see this video, you don't want to believe me, don't. If you do, well, kudos to you because yeah, it really takes a bigger person to apologize even after all these years. And I should have apologized back then. And the more I think about it, I don't think I ever did apologize to you. So, I just wanted to say I'm sorry. And I don't think that you're a bad person. You probably just had a lot on your plate like everyone else. And yeah. So, I want, and yeah, yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. So, thank you all for watching my videos, and feel free to like, and favorite this video and subscribe down below. And if you have any questions or comments about my current project for Second Life Adventures, feel free to leave a video response or a comment below, and I'll see if I can help you. So with that in mind, thank you.